the Brave, and a save there, and they score! So here's Lassiter with a shot, and he scores! He tries to net walking in, he shoots and scores! Mustangs draw first blood! Teresic gets a shot and scores! 4-4! Lachlan going to the net, shoots, and he scores! And towards Cox, Cox gets the shot away, Davis makes the save, no, it's in! It's in, Perth take the lead!
Live from O'Brien Group Arena in Melbourne, this is AIHL TV. The regular season is brought to you by Air Canada, who offer the only daily and non-stop service to Vancouver. For details, visit aircanada.com.au. Owners are a direct infrastructure investor with a portfolio worth in excess of $50 billion. ATC Productions, your live event technical provider. And APA Group, delivering Australia's energy.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the O'Brien Group Arena here in Melbourne for this AIHL clash between the Melbourne Mustangs and the Melbourne Ice. Well, at the halfway mark of season 2018, it's Melbourne Derby number 3. The Mustangs currently leading the season series 2-0. However, their AIHL season form has them currently in 6th spot, fighting to keep their Goodall Cup finals hopes alive. And as for the Melbourne Ice, well, they're languishing in 7th spot, just 1 spot below the Mustangs on the AIHL ladder with their playoff aspirations all but over. But as we often see in the Melbourne Derby, that all accounts for naught on the night as Pride precedes playoff position. Hello, everyone, and good evening tonight to you. And I'm Steve White, and joining me, as he always does, for these epic derbies, it's a very good evening to Rod Johns.
And good evening to you, my mate. Pride, what was that?
Precedes playoff performance.
That's a lot of peas, man.
Well, I don't know. Well, got a joke for that, but I won't tell it. But as we take a look at the AIHL ladder, the CBR Brave currently sitting on top on 27 points. The Thunder just behind them, however, they've played 4 more games than the Brave. The Ice Dogs on 25 points in 3rd. The North Stars on 22 points in 4th. The Bears just behind them. And then you have the Mustangs and Ice with a considerable gap behind the rest of the pack. And Rod, halfway mark of the AIHL season, what does this game here mean tonight to both clubs?
Oh, wow, I think it means a whole lot. I think that what you said is Pride certainly will come into it, and sometimes I think they'll forget about the ladder, and they're playing for Pride because there's a huge rivalry here. But skip all that. These guys are both playing to stay alive. So one of them is going to leave this building a whole lot happier than the other person. And at the end of the day, it's a funny place, because if you and I had a talk at the end of last year, and we would have said to ourselves, where would these guys be in the middle of the year? Neither of us would have picked this.
No, and particularly not the Melbourne Ice, I think. I mean, that's been the shock of the season. You know, it's set 9-game losing streak they're on now. Yeah. Look, let's call it for what it is. They're not going to make, I don't think they're going to be there at the end of the season, bar a, 14-game win streak, because they have to play catch up and rely on other results. When you're in that relying on other results mode, you're not playing confidently, and you don't have your own destiny in your own hands. But for the Mustangs, I mean, they're still within striking distance, but the Bears and North Stars pull itching away from them.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. And I think last weekend, the North Stars won, and if you're a Mustangs fan, you didn't want that to happen, okay? The Bears won as well, so you didn't want that to happen either. So the gap gets bigger. And I mean, we had the Bears here. We had an opportunity to beat them, and we let that slide. So big, big, big problem.
And the Sydney Bears will visit the O'Brien Group Arena this weekend as well. They'll play the Ice tomorrow night, and then on Sunday, the Canada Day Classic, they will play the Mustangs, and 2 very more important fixtures there for the Mustangs. Also, we should include some big news this week. Pat O'Kane became a local, so he no longer counts on the import roster. What does that mean to the club?
I don't know, but I think he probably went out and bought about 2 cases of Vegemite.
I would have thought 2 cases of something else if he was a real Australian. But, look, that's in terms of what the tools now that Max Perrin has at his disposal with Max as a local.
So in all seriousness, it means a big deal to the club, because right away he can play Pat anytime he wants as a local, and he can play his other 4 imports, okay? Yep. So it's the thing that they've been trying to do since last year, and now it's come to fruition.
And also, I mean, the Mustangs upset the CBR Brave last Saturday. I don't think anyone would have picked that. But then it was a real reversal on this Sunday. Jamie Burke made his return to the lineup last week. What do you think he's going to be in terms of his influence on the game in the Melbourne Derby because he has quite the habit of doing so.
Well, Jamie's an excellent hockey player. We all know that. He's got a huge skill set, and he creates massive friction, doesn't he, when he plays in this building, especially against Melbourne Ice. So Melbourne Ice are going to try to wind him up. There's no doubt about that. He needs to keep his cool and annoy them immensely by putting the puck away. What does he mean to the Mustangs offense? He means an awful lot, man, because he's one of the better local players in the competition, if not the best local player in the competition.
Yep.
And now he's back in the lineup.
Yeah, and as you said, we've got Brett Ferguson and Ben Davies as well, and Jamie Burke and Pat O'Kane. You've got, and Vadim. You've got
Vadim's actually stretched his groin a bit.
Okay, so late exclusion. Yeah.
Exactly. He'll be resting today, which is a bit of a sad affair.
So there you have it, late cancellation in terms of the lineup for the Mustangs. Vadim Vyasov out of the lineup. But we shall see what develops here at the O'Brien Group Arena. Melbourne Derby number 3. Let's go to centre ice for the national anthem, and then we'll be back with the drop of the puck. That does it for the formalities here at centre ice between the Mustangs and the Melbourne Ice. AIHL Derby number 3 for the year. The Mustangs currently lead that 2-0. The Ice, well, they're looking to snap a long losing skid here this evening. Your starting goaltenders for this evening's game for the Melbourne Mustangs. Petri Pitkin gets the nod yet again. 11 games played, 3 wins, 8 losses, and a save percentage of .868. And for the Melbourne Ice, James Downey making his debut for the Melbourne Ice. Obviously former Sydney Bears goaltender, spends most of the year in Canada. Had only joined the team 2 weeks ago, skated, and now he's into action here in this Melbourne Derby. And we'll be looking to see how he performs tonight. Your officials for this evening's game, wearing the bands, Rob Love and Grange Phillips, and the linesman Buddy Spone and Russell Dow. I was going to say Kevin Dow. You play with him, Rod?
Yeah.
He runs, obviously, one of the rink employees here. But also, fans, if you want your tweets on screen, use the hashtag AIHL Game Day, and we'll endeavour to read them out as the game progresses. As we get set for Melbourne Derby number 3, season 2018 here on AIHL TV, and a big welcome to you wherever you're watching throughout this country and throughout the world. Here's Robertson now, hands off to Brett Ferguson, who's been electric for the Mustangs in season 2018. Robertson now fires this one up ice. It was poked over the line there by Brendan McDowell. And hand off to Ferguson. Burke going hard towards the net and collected the stick there of Matt Armstrong as that went into the corner. Now first hard hit of the game on Burke there, courtesy of Anderson. Skating in now, here's Ferguson, tries to get through a sea of Melbourne Ice players, does so, looks to hand off there to McDowell in the slot, and it was intercepted here by Armstrong. And up now here to Tommy Powell. Now to Anderson down the outside. Anderson fires, and that went wide of the glove there of Petri Pitkin. And puck goes into the corner and is picked up again by Ferguson behind his own goal line, and he looks for options up ice, finds one in the form of Mitch Humphries, and he skates in against 4 Melbourne Ice players. Gets a shot off, and the first save of the game there to James Downey via the right pad. The puck kicks out now here to Fleming down the near side. Slenders this one, looking there for Dylan Lawrence in the middle, but that bouncing puck just too much for him to deal with. And the Mustangs will break out through the skipper McMahon off to the player one, his numerical inferior there, and Mitch Humphries, and that just trickled wide of the net. And another stiff check there, this time courtesy, but here's Corbett now in behind. Corbett, oh, his shot was about a metre wide. That was probably the best chance of the period so far. Only 90 seconds of it gone there for the Melbourne Ice. Webster chased by Apps, gets checked into the box. And now here comes Declan Bronte, one of the young superstars in the making here for the Melbourne Ice. That shot was blocked off the stick of Delsar. He's still got it though behind his own goal line. Hands it off, shot, and a save there by Hoddick. As this one puck moved in behind the net. And well, we got some music playing in the arena, and that one's finally moved out. As this one moved to the side of the net, Petkinen's in and they score! Well, a real comedy of errors there, and a turnover leads to the first Melbourne Ice goal. Delsar is with the score, and it's 1-0 Melbourne Ice.
Well, and that's exactly what Mustangs wouldn't want, because they can't repeat the performances of the previous two games and expect to pull a win out by letting Melbourne Ice get the jump on them. The table should have been turned the other way. And in actual fact, I thought we carried the majority of the play.
Yep.
So it's very unfortunate they lost their way, and when they lost their way, a goal gets scored, and now they're behind. And it's not a good thing for the Mustang fans.
And not a good thing for the Melbourne Mustangs. And Melbourne Ice, that goal to Cassian Delsar was his 10th of the season. He moves to 14 points on the year as this one moves in front. Oh, and looking for number 2 there with the ice. And Pitkin did enough to force Crow out, and Powell couldn't clean up the remainder. It's picked up now here by Anderson. He's muscled off the puck. Puts it down to the near side here to Powell. Back to the point. Crow with a shot, and that's about a metre to the right there of the net of Petri Pitkin. The Ice with the pendulum well in their favour. His Graham shot is blocked but knocked down, and a turnaround shot there from Anderson is, oh, that almost deflected there, I think, off the stick of Damien Bright. As the Mustangs clog up that corner, but Crow now, oh, look in front, and they score just like that. It's 2-0. Well. Inside 3 minutes, the Mustangs trail by a pair, and that silenced this Mustangs home crowd, Rod.
Well, I'll say, and I mean, again, you wouldn't pick that. You wouldn't pick that at all after you've seen the previous two games. Not that fast anyways, okay? So they're going to have to regroup and have a real hard think about what's going on. He got left all alone, and you can't leave Armstrong like that. It was a great redirection, and that was a good feed from the point. So defense needs to tighten up. They need to clean up the people in front of Petri and not let that happen.
So that was Matt Armstrong's 4th goal of the year. Correction to earlier, Cass Delsar, that was also his 4th goal of the year. He got his stats column a little muddled up. I apologise, but 2-0 in the stats column that matters to the man in red, white and blue. Here's Anderson looking to make it 3, and he centres that one, and Webster's forced to keep the play alive here for the Ice as Erzen goes to work there on his opposite number there in Dylan Lawrence. Picked up now here by Anderson, looking for a centering pass. It's loose and batted off the body there of Davies. Mustangs looking really out of sorts in their own end. Robertson backhands the puck around. Bronte cuts it off, moves to the top of the circle, pens it right back in behind. And Corbett sends it in front. A rebound, kicks out, and Fleming gets denied. And then the third time it went off the pipe, and Bronte keeps it alive now here for the Ice. It's all Melbourne Ice here in this first 4 minutes. Here's Corbett again looking for an outlet. Corbett in behind, decides to send it into the opposite corner. Bronte calls for it at the point. Bronte lets one go, and that would have been a high sticking even if Dylan Lawrence's stick connected to it. And, well, the Ice get a line change, excuse me. It was almost like a power play out there for them in that last 2 minutes. And Humphries just coughs the puck up, intended there for Davies. And again, it goes in as Hoddick does some good forechecking, wins the puck. Hoddick moving into the high slot, and, well, had his pocket picked by a timely stick there by Robertson as the Mustangs faithful urge their charges on. An uncharacteristic 2-0 trailing margin in this first 3 minutes.
Well, you hit the nail on the head, man. I think if you were watching that and you weren't paying attention, you would have swore that Melbourne Ice was on a power play, because the Mustangs were standing around waiting for something to happen in their own end. You can't do that. You have to make something happen. You have to take control, and you have to get that puck out of your own end. And that was not going on.
Exactly right. As the Mustangs, well, I mean, the theme of the Melbourne Derbies for the last 2 installments at least has been a third period comeback by the Mustangs, but you don't want to chance that a third time, particularly conceding so early. 10:20 to go. Mustangs trail by 2. Here's McMahon. Comes out through centre. McMahon now trying to muster the troops. Jones just touches that one in, and McMahon goes and does the forechecking, drives to the side of the net. Michael McMahon shoots. A good save there from Downey. It's the captain trying to lead from the front all the way from the blue line. And McCoy, his defensive partner, will go back and pick it up now here for the Mustangs. He just chips this one in. Armstrong in on the forecheck. 2 men playing high now here for the Ice. The Mustangs have control again through McCoy. Oh, almost had his pocket picked by Armstrong. Anderson's going to be offside, and he has to relinquish the puck here to McDowell, who sends it out across to Burke. Good job there from Bronte to swap the puck back in, and Kalashnikovs is going to pick it up now here for the Mustangs. As I said, I haven't seen a Mustangs defenseman that big since Jack Waldenworth from a few years ago. Here's Burke. And Burke forced to cough the puck up, and while they kick this one around as Powell overskates it as well. And Burke trying to surge through past the Ice defense. Did well to protect the puck and get the puck to him. Maybe could have had a hook, but here's Armstrong picking it up in the neutral zone, and a 2-on-3 in favour of the Mustangs as Anderson was offside. We'll have a whistle.
That was a slow call there. You know, it's very interesting, but again, you wouldn't have picked this 2-0 where we are at the moment. People need to pick up and have a go, or they're going to get left behind for sure.
Yep. And could have built that momentum as early as possible. There's also, we should mention, another game in action, AIHL action tonight up in Sydney. The North Stars and the Sydney Ice Dogs up at Macquarie. Got a visit from Nathan Walker of the Washington Capitals, obviously. During training this week, you can see the video online, and good to see Stormy down here, obviously enjoying his Stanley Cup winning off-season. That shot wide from Davies is into the net, and we'll get a whistle.
Well, he certainly has wheels, man, and so what's going to happen here is he can't do it all himself, and he can't think he has to do it all himself. His 2 line mates are going to have to come into this and use him effectively so that he doesn't skate himself out of the game.
As Davies, that 1-2 punch with Brett Ferguson, I mean, the stats speak for themselves. 22 points and 18 points respectively. And
that last game, like that we saw, Ferguson was all over it, wasn't he?
Absolutely. As the puck moved in behind, here's the side of the net. There's Jones went prodding for it, and he's beaten to it there by Corbett. But Graham cleans up now here for the Ice. Just shoots this one out to center as Lawrence just hands off now here to Crow, and Crow bursts down the side, avoids the check there of Erzin. Tried to dish that one off, and Apps is in there as well for the Mustangs. Tried to clean the puck up. Lawrence, it's poked out now here to Graham with Stringer, the lone forechecker, in the attacking zone there for the Mustangs. Moved out to Delsa, who got the first goal of this game, and his high up and under is caught there by Petri Pitkinen, and he holds on.
Well, you know, we talked a little bit about Jamie Burke and the lineup and things like that, but you got to look at Mr. Humphries too, because Mr. Humphries seems to come alive when he plays against his old club. So he needs to liven up and get into the game and spur his players on as well.
Mitch Humphries, 6 goals and 8 assists on the year. His career high was all the way back in 2015, where he put up 13 goals and 17 assists for 30. Currently on track to meet that if he continues his form for the rest of the season. As they go to work, do the Mustangs Hoddick, as the Mustangs fans want a delay of game. Here's McMahon with a shot, and a good block there from Delsar, and that goes into the netting and out of play.
And you know, getting back to Mitch, there's no doubt that he can do that sort of thing, because you look at how he's played this year and look at how he finished last year, mate. He's a machine, and when he gets going, he has an awful lot to offer. So the whole problem here is it can't be one guy. It's got to be 3 guys, and then bring the defense into it, so you have a 5-man unit that are working in the same direction.
As we just saw there, Jamie Burke and Liam Webster, round 27. As this one moved out now here to Powell. A shot, and then straight into the breadbasket of Pitkin, and he holds on. That was just over in the corner out of shots, and they've had some interesting battles over the years. I think it was in 2015 where Liam stepped on Berkey's stick and cost him $250. So,
and that was totally accidental.
Oh, of course, of course. That's just like Greg Sturrock breaking his stick over Stephen Blunden. Just head wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
But always brings out the fire, does the Melbourne Derby. As This face-off to the right of Petri Pitkänen. Picked up now here by Kalashnikovs. And he pulls up and starts the breakout now here from the Mustangs all the way back in their own end. 7:24 to go here in the first period. 2-0 to the Melbourne Ice. Here's Davies. Davies now hit some bad ice there in the middle. See it just bounce as he went to move it forward. And Kalashnikovs retreats all the way back behind his own end. And the Mustangs will go take 2 on this breakout. Kalashnikovs tries an intelligent play there here to Davies, who was in behind. Davies with a shot. Down, he got the glove on it. And the rebound poked away by Crow and taken here by Tommy Powell. Humphries now. Humphries picks up a loose puck. Humphries slings one on net. Trying to connect at the back there with Kahu Joyce, who'd snuck in. And an intelligent play there from Mitch Humphries. Almost had a response for the Mustangs. Humphries has it again. Looking for shooting options. Got Graham right on his numbers. As Graham did well there to protect the puck instantaneously. Humphries hasn't given up on it, but the puck goes all the way back to Graham as he collides in the skates there of Davies. And hand pass called. As that started in the neutral zone and went into the back. And we'll go neutral and we'll face off.
I don't know if you noticed that, but Kahu Joyce is playing up instead of back.
Yeah.
So Max is moving his players around to see if he can get something going here. And I think you really have to do that.
New Zealand international joined the team this year. 5 games, yet to register a point. Obviously had that little suspension from that round 3 clash with the Perth Thunder at Perth Ice Arena. That was fanned on by Bronte, and his defensive partner Webster bailed him out as Fleming gets put into the glass there by Apps, another exciting young prospect here at the AIHL. That was tipped out as Bronte gets muscled before he gets the puck in. Now hit a Lawrence in behind. Lawrence got 2 Mustangs players to contend with. He goes down. Ice fans want a penalty. They're going to get one as tripping is the call, and the first power play of the game will go to the Melbourne Ice, and that is not what the Mustangs needed.
Certainly not, mate. Certainly not. So they need to. The Mustangs need to hold their composure, never lose sight of what they're trying to do, and kill this penalty and get back into this game. And likewise, what a better opportunity Melbourne Ice has now to really put a nail into the coffin of the Melbourne Mustangs.
This would really deflate them at this start of the this stage of the game, but as we've said the previous 2, never say never, as that one was caught up in the linesman's skates as Fleming picks the puck up and hands off to Crow. Only 8 power play goals for the year for the Melbourne Ice, since that's dead last in the league as this one swung around. Even the Adelaide Adrenaline have more. This one picked up there by Kalashnikov. It's moved in front, and a save made by Pitkänen off Dylan Lawrence's stick, and it stays 2-0.
I remember seeing Dylan Lawrence in that first game here, and I said, you want to keep the puck away from this gentleman. He has seemed to have slowed down a little bit, and maybe hasn't lived up to the expectations I thought, but the last guy that you want to have the puck in the slot on a power play is him.
Here's Crow now. 95 seconds remaining on the man advantage here for the Ice. The check there by Kalashnikovs. Move back out now here to Devon Crow. Slings one right. Fleming hands off now here to Lawrence. Big guns on the ice on this first power play unit for the Melbourne Ice. Picked up by Davies, and he's done well to steal the puck and buy his team some time. Decides to go it alone. McDowell later came to his assistance, but it was for naught as Fleming backhands this one back to Crow, and the Melbourne Ice will change their power play unit. Here's Fleming now at center. Gives it off now here to Anderson. Anderson over to Crow. Takes it on the backhand. Looks for a shooting lane. Hasn't got one. Goes here to Tommy Powell, the near side. Powell back in behind the net. Looking for an outlet. Can't get one. Too many Mustang sticks. One of that of Kalashnikov's. Moved back now here to Crow. There's 43 seconds left on the power play. Crow fires. Good save by Pitkänen. And the rebound kicks out. Out now here to Davies. Going to go one-on-one now here with Crow. Davies decides to go across to the trailer here. Ferguson trying to toe drag his way through, and unsuccessful on that occasion. The Ice will counter-attack now here through Powell and Corbett. Powell just pulls up, waiting for reinforcements to arrive. His shot went high to the the blocker side there of Pitkänen. And over the far side, here's Ferguson now. Ferguson with McCoy. Ferguson, he is absolutely crushed there by Graham coming across the middle. And a good check as Ferguson returns the favour there on Graham. Oh, big hit there from Todd Graham. And the Melbourne Ice just stamping their ascendancy on this game as Robertson rejoins the action. And this is shot out now here to Jamie Burke. It goes over his stick and on now here to Graham. Looking here for Tommy Powell. Powell now. One touch over here to Corbett on the far side. Corbett, his pass is deflected and into the opposite corner as Delsar evades the check there at Kalashnikov's. And moved out to centre now here through Burke. 3:30 left on the clock here in the first period. Ferguson drops off the Kalashnikov's with a shot. And that one was wide of the net of Downey. Picked up by Ferguson. He surveys the scene, can't find anything. Kalashnikov's shot. Second one in his about 10 seconds goes wide again. And Delsar's in on the forecheck now here for the Ice. Delsar faked the back pass, centers now, and two Ice trailers couldn't pick it up. Here's Burke in behind the Melbourne Ice defence with Humphries going to the net. Burke to the high slot. Burke delay, shoots, good save down. He'll rebound. Is dealt with there by Hoddick. And end-to-end stuff here in this last 30 seconds. The Mustangs and Ice. Kalashnikov dumps this one in. Crow picks it up now here for the Ice. He's harassed there by Jamie Burke. There's Humphries and Burke. We've got a penalty coming up now. It's going to go against the Melbourne Ice as the puck is gloved down now by Delsar. The Mustangs will now head to the power play. And David Crow has some words here for Jamie Burke.
Well, he can have all the words he wants, but it's 2:40 left in the period, and this is what the Mustangs want. They want to get an opportunity to turn their power play on and score a goal and get back into the game. You know, it's interesting watching the penalty kill on the Mustangs. They had two guys behind their own net, and no one's picking up the people in the slot. So that's a no-no.
There's a bit of a Bronx cheer there from the crowd. I didn't see what that was for. But, someone was making their exit from the ice. But 2:41 remaining in the first period. This one rattled off the glass, and Tommy Powell's in a foot race here for the puck with Davies. Powell in behind, just going to look to eat up some seconds off the power play clock of the Mustangs, but they managed to gather the puck in now here through Ferguson, and he's going to play a lone hand down the far side and try and get in behind the Melbourne Ice penalty kill. Over now here to Kalashnikov, took that one on the backhand. Got a screen in front there from Lazzarotto. Here's a shot there, sorry, McDowell, excuse me. Here's Burke, pursued there by Bronte, moved in, and goes into the opposite corner now here for Ben Davies. 90 seconds remaining here on the power play. Davies just can't see anything to his liking. Here's Ferguson to Kalashnikov. One-time shot, and that was into the glass. And no real threat to the net there of James Downey, as Kalashnikov's almost picked off there by Powell, who put himself temporarily out of position. As Kalashnikov moves us back now here to Ferguson. He gains some ground and shoots over the mast there of Downey. The Mustangs knocking on the door here on this power play. Burke slides it side of the net. He interchanges places there with Davies. Does well to shake his man. Bronte cuts to the side of the net. Davies lost control. The Mustangs haven't lost the puck though. Davies done well. Well, they have now, as that's given away there to Tommy Powell. And Petkinen is going to have to come out and gather this one in as his compatriots are on a line change. 1:22 to go here in period number one. 2-0 to the Melbourne Ice. 37 seconds left on the penalty to Devon Crow for cross-checking. And the Mustangs looking to set up another attacking drive here on this man advantage. Here's Robertson. He gets shouldered there by Todd Graham. He's imposing his physical will on this game early. And that's off the shoulder and all the way back into the corner here for the Mustangs. And really, well, the first part of the power play I thought was pretty good, but this last 30, 40 seconds has been pretty lackluster. Here's Lazzarotto. He gets smashed there by Graham. 3 big hits there for Todd Graham tonight. Here's Fleming now as the power play expires, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. The Mustangs may be looking for a late one here to close out this first period. Robertson, well, Humphries blew a tire at the crucial moment. He's bailed out by Jones, but T coughed the puck up after cleaning up the linesman. And Lazzarotto now in behind the net. Lazzarotto got 3 Melbourne Ice players to deal with. The Melbourne Ice come out the victors of that exchange. Lawrence chips it up ahead now here to Powell, who had Erzen eyeing him off from the blue line. And this one goes in behind the net of Petkinen, with McMahon now trying to gather this one in and get control. He's pretty well dealt with there by Anderson on a good forecheck, and Fleming comes in to provide some assistance as well. And that will pretty much do it for period number one. Long-range shot there from Burke, and it is for naught. And that is what the Mustangs have on the scoreboard. They trail 2-0.
Well, that's not where they wanted to be, Matt. And so at the end of the day, before the broadcast started, you and I talked about various things, and one of them was not letting Melbourne Mustangs give Melbourne Ice a commanding lead and then thinking that they can come back and take it from them. The way it is right now, they're 2 goals behind. They need to go in that dressing room, have a long, hard think about am I going to play this game? I'm going to participate, or am I going to stand around? And they can't rely on one or two people to do that. They can't rely on their goaltender to save them. They need to come out as a unit and have a go. Melbourne Ice, on the other hand, they need to pop another one and make it just that much harder.
So to wrap things up here from the first intermission, it's the Melbourne Ice 2, the Mustangs nothing. Goals to Delsar and Armstrong. We'll be back with a second period of play right after this. Don't go away. And welcome back to the O'Brien Group Arena here in Melbourne, where the Melbourne Ice have a 2-0 lead over the Melbourne Mustangs. Goals to Cass Delsar and Matt Armstrong for the Melbourne Ice. And that was both inside 3 minutes. And Rod, what have the Mustangs got to do to get back in this game?
Well, they got to stop Melbourne Ice from doing that. They need to take it to them. They need to get it on the board. They need to start playing as a team.
Yep. So don't forget, fans, hashtag AIHL Game Day. Your tweets on screen as we wait for Ben Davies to rejoin the face-off. Well, he's been given his marching orders because he hasn't tied his chin strap down appropriately. Ferguson will come in, make the tag, and he'll line up against Anderson.
What's the pictures over there?
I don't know. I want to know now. So we can get a close-up of those over near the penalty boxes. That one shot across, kicks off the kick plate as Downey comes out of his net to try and help this one around. Ice still pretty wet, so the puck not moving too smoothly at the moment. Here's Bronte, pursued there by McDowell. Bronte almost had his pocket picked there by McDowell. He's done some good work as Brendan McDowell to try and tie this up in their attacking zone. Armstrong now comes and chips this one out of the zone. Powell beaten to it by Robertson. And this one turned around and put out now here to McDowell. Drops it off. Here to Burke. Burke decided to go it alone. Not much on offer. Tries to slide that one there through to Ferguson. Back down to Robertson, who puts one on net. It's tipped in front and Downey forced into a save. And the Mustangs start with an attacking drive. Here's Powell now down the far side. Powell off to Anderson. He's harangued there. As Ferguson in on the back check now here for the Mustangs. Robertson, it's loose into the slot and then all the way out to the blue line where it's just kept alive there by Liam Webster. And Corbett has it now for the Ice. Shouldered off the puck, but moves the shoulder right back on. Gets control back, but tends to relinquish this now here to Robertson. As Kahu Joyce was sneaking in behind. Here's Burke now with Joyce. Burke, well, had that poked off his stick. Joyce was trying to battle for it, but it was in the inferior position. And the Melbourne Ice have it now here through Todd Graham, who had a physical first period. Shot now here to Corbett. Nice feed there from Lawrence, and the stick of Michael McMahon proving the difference. As that was Corbett in alone on Pitcairn, had it proved in the positive there for the Melbourne Ice. 13-13 to go. Here's Corbett, chips it up, hit a Lawrence, one-on-one with McMahon. Lawrence to the outside, tried to dip the shoulder around McMahon, but McMahon with the experience there just forced him into the boards. Corbett picks it up now off the kick plate, deals it out to Lawrence. He shoots and he scores! 3-0 Melbourne Ice. Still a Lawrence with the third tally of the evening and his 13th of the year.
And the wrong guy to have the puck. Look where he was, in the slot. He was wide open and he had a lot of time to take that shot. And you know, the unfortunate thing is right before that, McMahon took him out of the play, and he actually played that really well. He turned him to the boards and did exactly what he should have done. He never gave him any room. But what happened there was he was allowed to come cruising back into the slot. Everyone else is watching what's going on with the puck, and he's there, and bingo, it's in.
So just like that, the Melbourne Ice 3-0 here over the Mustangs, who don't seem to be threatening in terms of their offensive production at all when they get the puck. Here's Bright now, third line out for the Mustangs. Picked off now here to Kalashnikovs. 6'4" Latvian who has the puck now. Kalashnikovs to the outside. Got the puck in over the blue line. He shoots, and that was blocked up high. Shoots again and blocked again there by Bronte. Here's Stringer now. Backhands it back to the point. A shot through traffic, and well, Downey saw it, but it took a deflection and it went wide of the net. Apps trying to keep it alive. Kalashnikov's shot, that's played with a high stick there by Jones. Cancelled out as Webster touched it. Here's Delsar. Delsar's onside. Delsar moving in for his second, and Pitcairn didn't commit too early and moved with him all the way. And a good save there by the Finn as Burke the other way fakes the shot, pulls the puck up. Crow did well to deke him into giving the puck here, if you want to describe it that way. Here's Armstrong now breaking back in. Armstrong, his shot used to Kalashnikov's as a screen and seen by Pitcairn regardless, and he swats it away with a blocker. Here's Armstrong, try to get that over to Todd Graham. Burke goes it out in there. Now it's McDowell on a breakaway. McDowell moves in, he shoots, and he scores! Response from the Mustangs. Brendan McDowell backhands it upstairs, and it's 3-1.
That was a very, very pretty goal. Jamie Burke saw Brendan all the way. A great little feed pass. And he goes in, left to right, upstairs. That's one you want to keep the video of.
You can see there 2 Melbourne Ice players went to ice to try and intercept.
Bingo.
And a great move on James Downey. And Brendan McDowell, the alternate captain, his 6th goal of the year. Mustangs, and it's exactly what the doctor ordered.
You bet ya.
As they trying to keep pace here with the ice. 11:33 to go here in the second period. 3-1 in favour of the Melbourne Ice. Still have a 2-goal lead. The 2-goal lead they had at the start of this period. Just the numbers on the scoreboard are the only things that's changed. Here's Grow. Over to Graham now. As Burke looked for the check there. His Powell picks it off. Now looks up for Graham over the blue line. Todd Graham hands off. Maybe a little too casual. Kept alive there by Armstrong. So playing on the point on this line. Anderson harried there by Ferguson. Picked up now here by the Mustangs through McDowell. And off now here to Burke. Here's Ferguson going hard to the net. Here's Burke now. Cuts to the side. Oh, he fanned on it. As Ferguson was there trying to provide a late screen on James Downey. His Powell took that one well around Kalashnikov's. And all the way back now here to Michael McMahon. Fires it up ice now here to Burke. Burke in over the line. And he was offside as he gives Liam Webster a little jab. And
just to see if he's breathing, mate.
Their years-long rivalry just continues. Just another page in that epic,
never-ending story.
Well, it's going to have to end sometime. So here's 10:34 to remaining, 3-1. Obviously, as we mentioned before, the Sydney Bears will be in town this weekend. They'll play the Melbourne Ice tomorrow here at 5 o'clock, Australian Eastern Standard Time, and then the Mustangs will have their shot at the Bears. The Bears walked in with a 5-point weekend last time they were in Melbourne. And they'll be one of the form teams in the AIHL this season. And well, they just trying to breathe down the North Stars' neck for that 4th spot. Here's McMahon now. And he's offside, and we'll get a whistle.
So there's all kinds of interesting things going on, isn't there? When you think about this weekend from the Mustangs' perspective, they have a chance to knock off the struggling Melbourne Ice, okay, and pick up 3 points, and then have the Bears come in, right, and hope that Melbourne Ice rallies and knocks them off, and then get them to play the Bears again on Sunday and knock them off for another 3 and pick up 6.
And that would get them right back in the mix. Here's Jones. Jones now to the outside, and good job there by Webster, but Jones has it again. Robertson on the point calling for the puck. Jones elects to cycle it instead as Apps gets shouldered into the corner. And now it's picked up on the opposite side by Bronte. He gets a shoulder in turn there from Stringer. The pass there from Erzen went astray. Stringer cleans it up, and Jones just trying to deal with it as it went over his head. Erzen gloves it down and fires it forward. Jones is going to have to go in on the forecheck against Bronte. Good play there from Bronte to shake off Jones and start back up ice. Puts it back now here for Chai, and he's offside, and we'll have a whistle.
You know, the interesting thing here, we talked a little bit about the fact that Pat O'Kane has got his citizenship, but I don't know if you've noticed, but
he's not in the lineup.
Pat O'Kane.
Yeah.
So that's a real hole, too, on a great opportunity weekend to pick some points up.
Yeah.
So apparently he's caught in transit on his way back.
Oh, okay.
So we may see him
in the 3rd period. Well, it was an absolute dog's breakfast trying to get in here tonight. I mean, obviously at the footy at Etihad, and then the festival here in Docklands. So if you don't work in the area, good luck to you. Here's McMahon. Picked it up in the corner. And the Mustangs, well, Burke had to let that one go and give it now back there here to Crow. And he goes down here to Chai at centre ice. Back to Crow. As he roofs this one in, that's not icing, as he was just on the right side of the centre red line. Delsar tries to lay the body on McMahon. McMahon gets the better of him and manages to protect the puck long enough here for Ferguson to skate onto. He's trying to get that up to Kalashnikov. Here's Burke now, and Kalashnikov, nice move from him. And offside, much to the protest there of the Mustangs bench. And
so,
you got a whistle.
Did you say that there was what's going on in the city? There's the Etihad game, and then there was...
It's the Firelight Festival or something along those lines.
Firelight Festival, and they didn't invite you and me.
Well...
What's going on there? That'd be a bit of a fizzer, wouldn't it?
Their loss, I guess.
I think so.
I'm sure. So 8:35 as we're going to have take 2 of that face-off. But yeah, you were trying to park. Yeah, good luck. As Erzen now to Robertson. And when the cinema opens next year, well, that's going to get even more interesting.
They will, won't it?
As this one whipped around, picked up now here by Anderson. Evades the check there of Robertson, who did well to Dylan Anderson. He evades another one. Still got the puck as Anderson tried to center. And well, unlucky not to finish off a good passage of play down the near side. Armstrong avoids Kahu Joyce's shoulder. Here's Humphries. And he was just a little too slow to the puck. Here's Davies, starts up with a header seen through center. Around the check there of Armstrong. Davies did well to get that in his skates, but the Mustangs are going to have to play fetch as the puck is rifled all the way back. That's going to be icing, and they'll get a face-off to the left of James Downey.
Well, interesting again, I don't know if you noticed that, but there are 3 Mustangs all along the boards and no options, okay? They need to spread out, and they need to give someone like Davies an option. On the give and go, they lost the puck, and he had to fight for it to get it back. Everybody was out of position. They need to be more proactive.
As that shot off the draw there from Jones is paddled aside there by Downey. Bronte and Powell, a little bit of miscommunication. Bronte's going to get a chance to redeem himself. This one fanned on. Davies, cool, collides there with Armstrong. Both of them shared the energy of that check, and neither of them went to the ice. Here's Lederotta with a shot, and that one whistles wide of the net of Downey. 7:27 to go. 3-1 the scoreline if you just tuned in favor of the Melbourne Ice. McMahon, that's going to beat him, and we'll have an icing call.
So I don't know if it's just me, but I actually really think McMahon's improved this year.
Yep.
Like, his fitness is better. His whole perception of the game and what he should be doing is better. He gets the puck, he looks up ice for opportunity, he takes the body, and he doesn't let people con him, you know?
We had a really good outing for the Mighty Roos this year. For one of the 4 inclusions, or first-timers, debutants for the Mighty Roos over there in Holland this year. And looks like he's elevated his game to the next level since coming back from that. As this one taking here by Bright after Kalashnikov's just bounced over his stick. And Bright's going to have to go back and get this one with Anderson right on his hammer. Bright picks it up now here, looks for Ferguson. Ferguson puts it up in front of the penalty box with McDowell out on this line. Back to the point now here to Bright. He fires a low drive on net, and that's all across the slot. Burke picks up a loose puck, fires it right back. It was blocked on the way through, but goes behind the net. Now here, Downey sent it in front. Nice play there from Bright to spot Ferguson coming in. Bright was pinching in there as the Ice now trying to play chip and chase. Lawrence looking for his second, and the pad of Petri Pitkanen denied him.
Man, that was too close. They see Lawrence go up and tap him on his pads. Thanks, dude.
Well, great move at one end led to a better one at the other. As
he just lost control right there. It just bounced over his stick, and luckily Mr. Pitkanen was right there.
There's full complement of fixtures here for the AIHL this weekend, as we'll talk about that in a minute. But the playoff race heating up. I mean, we're over the halfway mark. Thunder have played more games than anyone, played 15. The Braves sitting pretty on top there, as this one moved out here to Corbett with a drive, and it was deflected before it got through to Pitkanen. Puck at the half wall, moved out now here to Todd Graham, and over here to Crow. Crow now looking for the blue line. Crow with Corbett going to the net. Crow decides to drop it off here for Graham. Did well to keep it on the side of the blue line that keeps the puck alive. Here's Apps. Humphries in behind. Went to him, did Apps, and the long reach of Todd Graham broke that play up. Glove down there by Erzen. And well, Jones was forced to leave that, but that would have been a hand pass, and Graham has the puck now here for the Ice. 5:53 remaining in period number 2. Fleming tied up there by Erzen, allows his compatriot there in Jones to come in, but Fleming's done pretty well. Offside regardless, and we'll get a whistle.
So what's the deal on the playoff run? What's your gut feeling now?
Well, I said at the start of the season that the North Stars and the Dogs were going to be the top 2. Looks like the North Stars probably won't. It looks like it's going to be the CBR Brave. I think that the Dogs are still good for probably second spot. The Thunder, they're playing pretty good hockey. They have played more games, I should say, but I think they will be part of that playoff picture. The other 3 spots, you know, it's a battle between the Bears, North Stars, or the other one spot, I should say, because I'd lock the Dogs, Thunder and Brave in for the top 3. So the Sydney Bears have been the real surprise packet, I think, this year. I mean, the past few seasons, they've been very consistent. That side of the net is blocked away there by Pitcairn. As Stringer comes away with a puck now here to McMahon. McMahon over the line. He shoots. Good save there from Downey, as that was up at his grill. The glove came to the rescue. McMahon back to the point. Kalashnikov tries to gain the high slot. Drops it off now. Hitting McMahon with a one-timer side of the net. They jam at it. Lazzarotto can't force it through. And it's roofed out there by Webster. Well, that's much better there from the Mustangs in terms of pressuring the net there of James Downey. They elect to retreat all the way, though. Nikita Kalashnikov's looking for McDowell. He's got the lone Mustangs goal this evening. McDowell. Well, that pass was all ends up, and Delsar has it now. Clark cutting to the net. Moves out now to Anderson as Pitcairn. Looked like he was maybe interfered with there by Clark, but play continues. Crow through center, evades one check, evades another, gets the puck off now here to Armstrong. Armstrong tried to go the give and go there with Crow. And well, that pass intended for Graham evades his stick, and Crow has to sweep up now here for the ice. Fires that one across there to Anderson. Powell with Armstrong. Powell just leaves us back here to Armstrong. Armstrong trying to cut through towards the net. Here's a shot, and oh, it was wide as Anderson went begging. Pitcairn under pressure. Erzin may have been interfered with. Armstrong through the shoulder. Another check there. Powell pressured there by Burke, and we've got a penalty coming up. And Matt Armstrong is the one escorted to the penalty box.
Who did he take down, Erzin?
Yeah, it looked like he gave Erzin a shot. Let's have a look at this. Well, nothing much there. Well, there's a bit of a shot to the back of the head there from Erzin. And where is it? Oh, yeah. Well, almost the TJ Oshie reverse check. Didn't seem like there was anything in it.
That's right.
Elbowing was the call from the referee's angle. I guess it's a fair call from that angle, because the arm did come up. But
we've seen worse, though.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, TJ Oshie has made that his trademark, the reverse check.
Yep.
But nevertheless, that's history. The Mustangs have a power play and a chance to make it 3-2. Already 0 for 1 tonight on the power play. Is Pitcairn, well, maybe a little too casual there with that clearance, and Ferguson luckily was fast enough to come in and scoop up a loose puck to Kalashnikov's down the near side over the line. He pulls up at the half wall and waits for his teammates to take their positions. One of them is Ferguson, has his pocket picked, and off to the races now. Here is Fleming. Fleming in alone on Pitcairn. Fleming, couldn't pull the trigger, lost control at the crucial moment, and very nearly a short-handed opportunity for the ice. And that really would have taken the wind out of the Mustang sails. Here's Kalashnikov's to Burke. Tries to dig at the puck, and Fleming with an identical chance. It's now a 2-on-1. Fleming now across the ice. A shot, and they score! Short-handed. Dylan Lawrence with his second goal of the game. And just like that, it's 4-1 ice.
Well, once again, the last guy that you'd want to have with the puck is Mr. Lawrence. And he certainly was in the right place. A great setup, and pow, right up top. Great shot. Pitcairn didn't have a chance. But he shouldn't be put in a position like that. So it's very unfortunate.
And a breakaway of his own just prior to that. Then that developed into a 2-on-1 on the very next play.
Yep. Well, there was confusion at the blue line, and the puck got popped out at the blue line, and that's where the 2-on-1 started. So the Mustangs still on the power play, but they now trail by 3. Here's Ferguson down the near side. What can he muster here for the men in orange, black and white? Ferguson back to the point to Davies. And Ferguson, 57 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Davies with a shooting lane. Thought about the shot, gave it back to Ferguson. Nice, doing a pretty good job of jamming up that slot. As that's the side of the net, Burke jams at it. And Downey's pad was the difference. Back now here to Davies, to Ferguson. Thought about letting a shot go. We got a penalty. No, the net's off. And we'll have a whistle. Well.
Oh, actually, no. James Downey's skate blade's come off.
Plus he broke his blade. Yeah.
So a tyre well and truly blind. There's going to be a bit of a delay now here, as Downey's going to have to get his equipment fixed.
Well, I wonder what they'll do. Will they force them to put their spare goalie in?
Because
that's a big deal. He's got
yeah.
to take his skate off and everything.
It's going to take the whole lot off, well,
Yeah.
the pad at least.
So surely that's what would be going on. Well, it'll be interesting to see how they call this one.
Well, Jaden Pine Murphy's gearing up here at the side of the Mustangs, sorry, the Melbourne Ice bench. And that's broken, and it doesn't look like it's going to go back in the holder. And even then, it's not, it looks like a rivet's come out.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, straight back
put
in.
it in.
Fair enough. Might as well just put some chewing gum on it as well. Why not?
No, you know what? Duct tape.
Duct
tape solves everyone's
Stop
problem.
killing ducks to make duct tape.
Did you see that? That was hilarious.
Oh, I did. Well up to date in the mimetic world. There's 2:34 remaining here in this second period. There's a little stoppage here to James Downey. His equipment seems to be okay. Declan Bronte is one guy I've been impressed with. The Melbourne Ice.
What's his background?
Youngster. He's spent the last 3 seasons over the Ontario Hockey Academy. It's only a youngster. Mr. Bronte, only 17 years of age. As this one moved into the high slot, Burke. And that one was glove, one half of the Bronte brothers, obviously. Tyrone, his brother, also plays.
I remember Tyrone.
So to play the stint with the Youngstown, not the Youngstown Phantoms. What's the USHL team there in Cincinnati? Name escapes me right at the moment, but same league that Nathan Walker played in before he was drafted. This one whipped around into the blue line. Burke tries to keep this one alive as Webster digs at the puck. Picked up now here by Ferguson. Only 16 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Burke now patrols the blue line. Hands off now here to Ferguson. Top of the circle. Ferguson looking for a shooting option. Finds Burke. He lets one go, and McMahon had come in to provide the screen, and that went under his skate. And that will do it for the power play as Armstrong steps back on the ice, and we're back to 5-on-5. Ferguson now, top of the circle. Melbourne Ice still think it's a bit of a power play. Is that shot? Oh, out of mid-air. McDowell went looking for number 2. McMahon now. Davies, side of the net. He's hauled down, and they're going to go straight back to the power play as Webster, the offender on that occasion, the trip.
Well, I don't think Melbourne Ice would like that, okay, because they're in a great position at 4-1 to go in the dressing room in a commanding lead. Now they've just opened the door again to give the Mustangs a bit of a go here. So Mustangs want to put the puck away now for sure.
No real doubt about that penalty.
Otherwise, we're going to have a replica of last game. 4-1 after 2.
See if the third period produces the same result in terms of the historical context. Here's Davies with a shot. That's blocked up high with Humphries providing the screen there on Downey. Out now here to Ferguson with Burke on the other point. Davies picks it up top of the circle. His shot is blocked and into the corner. Davies, Ferguson calling for it, as is Burke. Humphries has got it now behind the net. Humphries. He's pursued there by Graham, but he evades said pursuit. Gets it back now here to Davies. On here to Ferguson. His shot on Humphries with a deft tip. And it was just the wrong side of the goalpost. And Ferguson has to go back and retreat with 80 seconds remaining on the power play here. 54 seconds remaining in period number 2 before we head into the second intermission. Jones' shot. And no trouble to the net there of James Downey. Jones picks this one up with Graham providing the physicality. Over now here to Burke with Ferguson taking his position on the blue line. Has the puck now. One touches that one intelligently over to Davies, and he switches positions. Davies draws his man. One-timer from Ferguson. Didn't get all of it. Side of the net. Burke prods at it and can't slip that one through as he muscled Fleming to the ice. And Dylan Lawrence has it now here and off to Todd Graham. One-on-one now here with Ferguson. Sweeps that one aside, and that's going to be offside. And we'll have a neutral zone face-off.
I'd have to say that's probably the best bit of power play hockey that I've seen the Mustangs do tonight. So they had control, they had some good opportunities. It just didn't go their way, but they were thinking and looking and using other people besides the puck carrier to make something happen.
Yep. So with 18 seconds remaining, that's chopped through there, steered aside by Pitkanen. And over here to Robertson. The Mustangs drive late here with 10 seconds remaining. Ferguson And that pass is astray and over Burke, but he manages to keep it in. Burke now fishes it through. Robertson with time running out on the clock, and his shot is into the side of the net. And that will do it for period number 2. It's the Melbourne Ice 4, the Mustangs 1. Goals 2 to Dylan Lawrence, 1 to Delsar, 1 to Armstrong, and Brendan McDowell has the lone goal for the Mustangs. Rod, your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are deja vu, mate. Here we are. This is exactly the same score as last time. So Mustangs are going to have to pull a few rabbits out of their hat. They got 24 seconds left on a power play. Anything can happen. If they get out here and they score a goal early or take advantage of those 24 seconds, they can get back in the game and make something happen. We've seen it before, and it could happen again. However, ... watch this space.
Knock on wood. And that does it for the end of the second period. The Melbourne Ice 4, the Mustangs 1. We'll be back with the third period of play. Don't go away. And welcome back to the O'Brien Group Arena here for this third Melbourne Derby of season 2018. After 2 periods, the Melbourne Ice lead the Mustangs by 3 goals, 2 to Lawrence, 1 to Armstrong and 1 to Castelsar. Brendan McDowell with a lone tally for the Mustangs. Rod, what do the Mustangs got to do to get back in this game?
Well, they got 24 seconds to get the jump on these guys, and if it was me, I'd be doing everything I possibly could to score a goal in those 24 seconds and really rock Melbourne Ice's boat and get back in the game. So it's like I said, deja vu, 4-1. We were at the same position last game.
Yep.
But I don't know that the gods are in the favor of Melbourne Mustangs, so they need to prove a point here and score a goal and make something happen.
Well, interesting statistic. Last 7 games in the third period, Melbourne Ice have been outscored 18-0. So that's let's see if that trend continues. As well, a couple of trends prime for the breaking in terms of third period Melbourne Ice collapses and them not scoring and the Mustangs coming back. We'll see how that fares as this final 20 minutes progresses. As Kalashnikov, 10 seconds left on the power play here to start period number 3, and that's pretty much going to do it as the puck is shot all the way back here for Michael McMahon to take on the blade of his stick. As Pat O'Kane has braved the traffic. You can see the smile on his face already to the outside. O'Kane still has the puck. Slides it across now here to Davies. That one was chipped past him. And backhanded back in there by Kalashnikovs to Graham. Coughs up a loose puck. Kalashnikovs fires one on net and Downey paddles that one away. Burke now fires it right back in. Lawrence came off his skate. Got 2 already tonight. Lawrence skates through center. Lawrence with speed. Lawrence moving in. Toe drag shot. Oh, he let that go.
What a great little move, though.
Absolute laser beam there from Lawrence, and that went wide as Pitkin is temporarily without his stick. Got ran into there by his own teammate.
Just, if we get a replay on that, just watch the move and then the shot. And the real maneuver came at the red line where he makes the move to break away from the check. So, just really not the guy that you want to be freewheeling.
As you can see there, he ended up shoving McMahon right into his own goaltender. 18:55 to go as it's picked up now here by Andrew Erzin behind the net. Erzin slings one around. It's fired up and trying to hit Humphries there at center ice. There was McDowell skated onto here by Erzin. Tries to get by a couple of Melbourne Ice checkers and can't do so. Fleming off to Bronte. Back to Fleming now as he progresses up ice and goes cross ice now here to Lawrence. Trying to gain the ascendancy over Erzin. A shot there from Fleming. And Pitkin got about 30% of that. And that was enough to get it onto the post and out. And the Melbourne Ice very nearly 5-1. As Lawrence trying to pick the pocket there of Mitch Humphries. It's put up in front of the penalty box. And Liam Webster back to get it now here for the Ice. As the defending Goodall Cup champs trying to salvage something from their 2018 campaign, even though it's only halfway done. Corbett. Now Hoddick. I have to say, in terms of the tempo of previous Melbourne derbies, this is probably down there with the lower of the...
Yeah, I think so too.
The historical record. As that one was shot and dribbled all the way back now here to Downey. Back now here to Graham. Graham flies it across here for Devon Crowe. Apps relinquished the puck. Been a bit quiet tonight by his standards. As Brad Apps, stringer, back to Jones. Fanned on the shot, and Kalashnikov has to retreat as he is offside. And that's given him to McMahon to dump right back in. Jones down to Kalashnikov. Swings one around to Stringer to go and play fetch with. Put into the glass there by Anderson was Apps. Mustangs come away with the puck though. McMahon flings one on net, and there's too many bodies there in front for the puck to get through. As Jones has it now. Held in on the line there by McMahon. The puck bobbles up after an attempted shot from the Mustangs captain. And the Melbourne Ice will have it now here through Todd Graham. Fires one up ice, looking there for Rob Clark, who'd parked himself on the blue line and couldn't get any real territorial advantage. Davies fires one across and picked up there by Burke, where he's done well. Burke now with a shot, and that's wide of the glove of Downey. And all the way back does the puck come to Troy Robertson in his own zone. 16:38 to go. No change to the scoreline from the start of the period. It's still 4-1 in favour of the Melbourne Ice. O'Kane, well, that pass was a little bit too errant for Davies' liking. Webster now Finally gets the puck out now here to Armstrong. Armstrong across ice. Bronte's nice pass there for Powell. The idea was there, but the execution wasn't. Armstrong. Oh, well, with Lawrence now. Back to Armstrong. His shot. Good save from Pickett. As Lawrence manages to hem this one in. Erzin. And out now here to O'Kane. O'Kane saw the check coming there from Armstrong. Lawrence gathers the puck back in. Lawrence to the outside. Dips the shoulder. Tried to send that one here to Tommy Powell. And, well, that didn't really get through to him. And the Mustangs on the back foot here in the last minute or so. Davies. Time may be their enemy unless they can get a couple of quick goals. Here's Davies to the outside. Davies, well, Webster's reach cancelled him out. And the puck shot out. Quick shot there from McMahon, and that was blocked through traffic. As Davies says he so energetically often does in on the forecheck, but forced to concede possession of the puck to the Melbourne Ice, and they skated out now here through Fleming. His pass up now here to Corbett. Corbett cuts to the outside. Nice move from him. Corbett looking for options. Centers it in front as Fleming. Oh, and he put it across the slot. Penalty coming up. No, nets off its moorings. And that was a great move from Scott Corbett.
Sure was. Now, it's interesting that Pat O'Kane's in the lineup in the third period, and that might be just what Melbourne Mustangs need to get rolling here. Is something different and a bit of intensity from Mr. O'Kane. So he needs to light a few people up. And like I said to you before, other people have to lift here to make this happen, and they got to get a goal early.
And it's going to be difficult to see where that's coming from because Mustangs generally look very flat. As Humphries beats out the icing call. Chai moves the puck across now here to Graham. Graham looking for options up ice. He's got one there in Clark. As Chai tangles up there with Ferguson. McMahon uses his posture to win that battle. Here's Ferguson now. Ferguson trying to offload this one. Ferguson to the outside. Still has the puck. Ferguson pulls up. As waits for Kalashnikovs to come off the bench. Humphries picks the puck up down low. He's tried to center. That was deflected and all the way out. And a foot race ensuing now is Clark. He's done pretty well, but McDowell did better than him to get the body position and get the puck up now here to Humphries. Oh, he got checked there by Bronte, but back checking Matt Armstrong with pace. Burst through center after stealing the puck in his own zone. Armstrong still got it. And will finally coughed it up. Anderson has to go to work now here for the Melbourne Ice. Anderson back to Webster. Lackadaisical pass. Webster with a shot. Good save, Pitkinen. And he covers the rebound.
That was good on Webster's part because he didn't let a blaster go. He just shot the puck at Pitkinen, and he knew he had one of his own teammates in front. Pitkinen struggles with it, and there's a rebound and bingo. And it was just lucky that that didn't happen on the Mustangs' part.
And the Mustangs, well, 6 minutes almost expired here in this third period. And they said time may be the enemy here to get themselves back in this game. Let's see what spark O'Kane can provide. His abs. Now with Kalashnikovs. And the Mustangs are still hemmed in their own zone. Powell now looking for sticks to put the puck on. Decides to go to the short side of the net and backhand it. And Pitkinen had enough of his body in the way, and he comes out of the crease to cover.
Well, they can't be doing that. They need to get control, and they need to look for an option to get that puck out. They can't be hemmed in their own end, standing around. And Pitkinen's going to get angry in a second.
Very angry, yes.
There's nothing worse than an angry Finlander.
An angry Finnish goaltender.
Yes.
The trifecta, why not? Here's O'Kane down the far side. O'Kane, well, the intention was there for Burke, but it was about a metre behind him. And Burke's going to have to go back and get it with Corbett right on his case. Robertson now tried to get that one through, couldn't do so. Moved through there by Fleming. Swatted at there by Lawrence. It's loose in the slot, and Davies, after some good work there by Pitkinen, cleans the puck up. Davies has it at centre. Got a stick up here. He's going to get a power play here for the Mustangs after that to stick from Fleming, despite the protest there of the Melbourne Ice bench. And hooking is the call.
You want to see that again, but I think that there's no doubt on it. He was given a bit of a jab here and a jab there.
Let's have a look. That was a stick lift. Yeah,
right
it was right
there,
on the hand.
for sure.
Yeah, and another one
there.
there.
You go.
Yeah. You can't really argue with that at all.
Maybe he was thinking he needed to do a hat trick of hooks to get a penalty.
Yeah, 3 for the price of 1. 3 strikes, you're out. So the Mustangs, well, this really probably is a pivotal moment in the game. They don't score on this one, and well, you could probably give the 3 points here to the Ice, because they're 0 for 3 so far on the power play tonight on the Mustangs. 13:05 remaining here in period number 3. 1:54 left on the man advantage. Shot back out there by the Ice. Pitkinson will have to set it up. Hooking the call on Fleming. As the Mustangs start out again, Ferguson down the far side with Burke. Ferguson gains the line and pulls up into position, or lost control, almost blew a tyre. O'Kane holds the line. O'Kane just deftly touches that one through to Ferguson. Got Burke calling for it in the high slot. Burke lets one go, and that's into the glass. And a good chance there for the Mustangs. Here's Davies. Davies pursued, but does a good job of holding the puck. Back now here is a quick shot from Ferguson, and that's blocked and off the shoulder there of Liam Webster. Rifled around by Burke, out to the half wall. One timer there by Burke, and that was deflected wide. And we're going to have a penalty as McDowell's gone down in the slot. And Liam Webster, again going for tripping. It's called in the second period for it, and he's getting the call again. 5-on-3 coming up now here for the Mustangs.
Well, what was I going to say? Something very intelligent. I mean, at the end of the day, you need to hem these guys in and make something happen. So there were a couple shots, but they were wayward, errant shots that were too high and out of traffic. You need to get your shot low and make something happen on the goaltender. You have to have somebody in front of that net and give them heartache and pain. So they controlled the puck, but they didn't capitalize on their options, and they have to do that.
So it's Declan Bronte going to the penalty box, excuse me, not Liam Webster. Bit of debate between the referee and linesman as to who is getting the penalty there.
So,
but the trip was there.
What a perfect opportunity now. They've got 5-on-3, and they've got a whole minute and a bit to do it.
And then potentially a 5-on-4 if they score, as that shot is into the netting, and the Mustangs will have to reset from the face-off.
So I think that patience, right, and get your people in the right place. Look at the lineup they've got out there. They've got a lot of depth and a lot of good hockey players. They just need to set it up and make it happen.
Back now here to Burke. Quarterbacks this Mustangs power play. He's been absent for half the season so far. O'Kane near side. Here to Ferguson. Burke one times it, and well, went right through the heel of his stick, but the Mustangs still have control of the puck. Oh, and Davies was looking for O'Kane at the back door, who had half an open net to shoot at, as Burke manages to cut that clearing attempt off. Here's Davies now. Davies, he shoots. Oh, he hit the pipe. He had Downey down and beaten, except for the iron. And 11:30 to go, 23 seconds left on the 5-on-3. Davies trying to catch the ice here on a change. Davies now pulls off back to Burke. He shoots, and Downey makes no mistake.
That was a good play, and you just got to say Burke made a great play on that clearing attempt by Melbourne Ice, because he jumped up, got the puck, put it back down, and had a real good go at it. And like you said, that other shot was right off the post, right? That's what you want. Well, actually, you want it off the post on the inside and in the net.
Yeah. This is the second best thing. So 13 seconds left on the penalty to Fleming. And Bronte's penalty, 105, is actually awarded to James Downey in the end. Bronte was the one serving it. And according to the scorers, here's Ferguson now. Slides it across, looking for O'Kane. His wide-angle shot, not much to shoot at there, but the pad of James Downey as Fleming steps back on the ice. 5-on-4 now here for the Mustangs. Ferguson, his shot through traffic, and that was actually off the shin pads there of Sean Jones, who'd set up camp in the low slot. And the Ice just elect to flip this one in. Under 11 minutes remaining here in period number 3. Still a 3-goal lead now here to the Melbourne Ice. Power play, 31 seconds of it remaining here for the Mustangs. O'Kane. Back now to the point here to Ferguson. Burke with a one-time drive. Nice save from Downey, and he saw it all the way.
Yeah, but that was a pretty good shot too. It was low, right? And again, traffic. So you've got to get traffic in front of him so he can't see what's going on.
So James Downey only joined the Ice 2 weeks ago. He said he's been honing his skills over in Canada the last few seasons, and we've seen it every single year since he's come back. It's been last year, last couple of seasons, obviously, with the Sydney Bears. Now have made the move south. one exciting up-and-coming goaltending prospects for Australia is Kalashnikov's retreats into his own zone, and Armstrong may beat him to the puck, and he does, and well, doesn't beat the glass though, as he blew his own tyre. And that's going to pretty much do it here for a 5-on-3 and a 5-on-4. The Mustangs fail to score on, and 10-11 left here in the third period. Mustangs trail by 3. Here's McMahon as Bronte back on the ice and goes straight to the bench. McMahon now, too much of Melbourne ice in the way of him. Kalashnikov's going to have to pick it up. Swats it ahead now to Humphries, who's been very quiet by his standards in this evening's game. It was all the Mitch Humphries show in the last Melbourne Derby, even that third period. Here's Webster now. Over to Crow. Slides it across. Looking here to Anderson. Sorry, Scott Corbett. Davies with Burke up ice. Burke now picks up the puck. Fleming tries to cut the angle off. Burke's done well, but he loses control of the puck in the end. And Crow puts it into the opposite corner. The ice start out now here through Todd Graham. And a pretty energetic first period, very quiet in the second. Just elects to dump this one in and retreat. The ice playing pretty conservatively. Looks like they've got a 3-man wall up here across the neutral zone. As O'Kane's long-range shot is wide and picked up by Burke, who flings it right back on net. But the ice get possession back, and it's picked up by Casher, who hands it off now here to Clark. That was Casher's only second shift of the game as Humphries goes hard into the stanchion. Looks to be okay. Bronte now here to Hoddick. And up now here to Clark. Third line out now here for the ice. Picked up by O'Kane. Humphries going towards the net. Humphries picks it up. He shoots. Oh, what a toe save from James Downey. Save of the game so far.
Oh, man, I thought that was gone.
And just as we were calling for Mitch Humphries inadvertently to lift, James Downey shuts the door with a save of the game. Moved into the side of the net. Ferguson picks the puck up. Ferguson now. Got McDowell with him. Ferguson around 1, around 2. Got 2 other Melbourne Ice players in front. Just onside is Ferguson, but Webster's long reach. And veteran Poise wins that battle. Here's Powell now. Powell slides it across. Unaware of that was Delsar, but he did well to keep it alive and get it back to Powell on the give and go. He goes to the ice. The Mustangs get it there here through McDowell. And they've conceded it straight away as Bronte, pass intended there for Ferguson, ends up with Webster, and he banks this off the boards to Armstrong. One touches it to Powell to the high slot. Powell draws 2 Mustangs players to him before he cycles this one off here to Armstrong, with McMahon pinning him in deep. But the Ice can afford to play like this. They're 3 goals up with 7.5 to go. A shot there from Armstrong, and it was off the imposing shin pads of Nikita Kalashnikov's. It's moved in behind, and Pitkinen's going to have to settle things out. The Mustangs look all out of sorts in their own end.
And they're struggling, there's no doubt.
And here's Kalashnikov's now. McMahon. And again, a pass intended for someone else ends up there with Joyce. Jones. Joyce now. Swatted in front of the net. No one can connect. That was Stringer who'd parked up in front of the blue paint. Here's Lawrence the other way over the other blue paint. He slings this one across, and Crow off his skates, unable to do much with it. Corbett now here to Fleming. His shot, good save by Pitkinen. The players tried to baseball bat that one out of midair. And the Mustangs, that just all ends up in their own end at the moment. Here's Graham. Robertson. Don't see where it's going to come from here at the moment. Stringer, the Ice playing the far better game, far more controlled and poised game. Back now here to Bronte, who's been really good tonight, actually, on this first pairing. It's picked up now here. Hoddick trying to poach in his own zone. Davies picks it up and hands it off to O'Kane with Burke. O'Kane with speed to the outside, and the puck in the net. That will do it.
Well, you're right. I don't know where it's going to come from either, but it's got to come from someplace, and it's got to come pretty quickly, because 6 minutes and 30 seconds left doesn't leave you a lot of time. But the crazy thing is, anything can happen. So if the Mustangs were to score a goal now, they're still in it. If Ice scores a goal now, me and you can just go to the bar.
Or someone can bring something down to us.
That's an idea.
No, it's not much to ask for. We have, as we said, have a look at that table. The Brave 30 points from 13. The Thunder 26 points from 15. The Ice Dogs 25 from 13. The North Stars 22 from 14. And then we have the Bears on 20. The Mustangs trail by 4 with 16 as Downey forced into a save. And then the Ice 4 points further back. So a win here for the Ice would put them 1 point behind the Mustangs with 2 games in hand. And both teams have the Bears on the weekend.
Yep.
So the bottom 3 of the table, it's sort of, you know, that's a fair bit of gap. The Mustangs picked the 3 points up tonight. They're only 1 point behind Sydney, with the Bears to follow on Sunday.
That's correct.
So
it was a very interesting weekend.
Particularly last weekend, I mean, no one really expected the Mustangs to steal the 3 points from the Brave in Canberra, but the Brave responded in kind on Sunday. But one would have thought, you know, they'd taken all 6 points. Mustangs would be already putting the cue in the rack. It's Kalashnikov's with a shot, and Downey with a good blocker save, and that one's prodded back out to centre. Kalashnikov's, that pass went astray. Mustangs are offside. Will have to touch up. Webster, Kalashnikov's now. Well, the indecision there, that's going to be icing. And Davies protesting that with the linesman. Well, you can protest all you want. Put goals, you're going to put goals in the net. Let's have a look.
Oh, there you go. What's the picture?
Looks like a donkey. Looks like a donkey with a vehicle. It's some kind of in-joke. I don't know what it is. So someone can inform us what it is. We'll be in on it. 5:47 to go. 4-1. There's Graham. Oh, stolen there temporarily by O'Kane, but he was heading on a bench on the line change. He's tired at the end of that last shift as per the icing. Here's Crow now. 5 and change here for the Mustangs to get something. Humphries, and just a few minutes to go until the Ice potentially snap their one of their longest ever losing streaks. I don't think I've seen the Ice on a 9-game skid before in you know, particularly the last 10 years of the AIHL anyway.
I think you'd have to go pretty far back in their history to find a losing streak like that.
Here we are. Stangos. All right. Mustang with a leg. There you go.
Very good.
It looked like a donkey from from where we are. So as this one, a player scrum develops over there at the blue line. As Graham has it, he's had a good game by his standards too, as Todd Graham tonight. He's pretty much imposed his will in his own zone. As this one moved out and in over the blue line. Picked up now here by Armstrong. Just elects to dump this one in retreat to the bench. 4:45 to go. 3 goals the diff. And the Melbourne Ice looking for the 3 points. And that'll take them, as we said, from 12 to 15. And, well, one would think it's pretty much... it's a very difficult equation for them to make the Goodall Cup final series. However, we have seen stranger things happen at this halfway mark of the season. But as we said before, you're relying on other results, so you're always in a bad place. Here's O'Kane. He is offside at the blue line. So the Canada Day Classic on tomorrow, and the teddy bear toss, as usual, the tradition with the Melbourne Ice, will be in effect again. Are you going to partake in the teddy bear? I won't be here for tomorrow's game.
Oh, really?
No. So I've got another gig. So I'm wanted elsewhere. Just for
imagine that, dude.
For the first time I've ever said that in my life. So 4:10 remaining. As this one moved out and intercepted. Here's McMahon. Here's McMahon now. Just tries to fire that one in long range on Downey. Well, he probably should have covered that, James Downey, but got away with it in the end. As Kalashnikov keeps the play alive. Davies slings it in front now here. Here's McMahon. Looks for a shooting lane. Oh, nice tip there from O'Kane, but just didn't have enough angle on it. And it comes back now here to Nikita Kalashnikov's. Draws his man to the ice. With Kalashnikov, the cross ice now here to Davies. His shot, and that save there by Downey.
It's a bit late in the game to be asking you this, but Downey's been with ice for 2 weeks. So is this his first game with the ice?
Yeah, first game starting. Yeah. You can see he's a young man. He's only 18 years of age. And as I said, the future is very bright for Australian goaltending prospects. I mean, he had a great mentor up when he was with the Bears, obviously, with Anthony Kimlin. Yeah. Decided to come down here. And but, you know, as I said, he's plies his trade in Canada for 8-9 months of the year. And as you can see, the development has really paid off. You'd notice the evolution of his game, and he's only a young kid too, so he's got plenty of strides to take, as that was offside, and there's a debate as to who was offside.
Well, he's certainly held his ground, and he's made some solid saves, and he hasn't bobbled the puck. So he'd be a pretty happy guy to break the Melbourne Ice losing streak and play a solid game.
Absolutely, and you can see in the efficiency in his angles too. He doesn't overcommit as Crow wins the puck now here for the Ice. 3:15 to go. Picked up now here by Ferguson. Ferguson now skates this one out here for the Mustangs. Got Humphries and McDowell on offer. Decides against both of them. Plays the chip and chase. Graham beats everyone to the puck. As Ferguson tries to do the forechecking now here for the Mustangs. Not much happening offensively for the Mustangs at all in this period. As we said, a 5-on-3 and a 5-on-4. Couldn't score. And then another power play and couldn't score on that. At all, big hit there from Erzin as he rocked Fleming's world. Fleming looks to have shaken that off, and play continues. That one's sent across into the skates there. McDowell poked out there by Hoddick.
I was wondering if Fleming was going to return the compliment on the other side of the ice.
He
there.
was looking for it. You can see it in his eyes. As Hoddick doing some pretty good back checking of his own. Bronte with Burke. Davies chopped at there and held up by Cass Delsar. Delsar slings it across now back to Webster. Webster. Cross-ice dump from him from the center red line. Delsar picks it up. Oh, looped in front. Pickett forced into a save. And then Clark went looking for another one. And Petri Pickett and Max Perrin rolling the dice and pulling Petri Pickett on for a 6-skater. And why not? Your season's pretty much on the line. With this game, I would think, well, of sorts, is Kalashnikov's.
Well, you've got nothing to lose, mate, so you might as well have a go at it.
Exactly right, with a 3-goal margin. His shot from Ferguson, that one was tipped and wide. McMahon now in the corner. Pressed there by Bronte. Goes behind the net now here to Davies. Davies looking for an option, got nothing much on offer. Goes back to Ferguson, draws his player in. Ferguson hemmed all the way back to the blue line, back to Davies. Oh, quick shot from O'Kane and a good save from James Downey. And of course, Jamie Burke has a few words to say to Sam Hoddick this time.
Well, it's a good Russell Dow's in there to sort him out.
Good old Russ. Good to see him back in the stripes. Had a few years off when he wasn't donning the stripes, and he's come back the last couple of years. So
it's positive for hockey.
Indeed.
He's pretty good at it.
One half for the Dow brothers, obviously. Kevin playing for your Demons and former Melbourne Ice player as well. Here's O'Kane. And of course, Doug Dow, we can't forget him.
Yeah.
As this moved in behind. Back out to the point now. Here's Kalashnikov's. Back over now here to Ferguson. Ferguson to the high slot. Ferguson interchanges places. Gets it back to Kalashnikov's. Good stick from Armstrong, but Kalashnikov still has the puck. Just over a minute remaining. McMahon, well done there by Ferguson to bat that one down loose out of the air. And Downey again to the rescue. Here's McMahon, fakes the shot, slings it across. Ferguson back now here to Kalashnikov with a shot, shoulder save and a beauty from James Downey. Your goaltender's your best penalty killer. James Downey living up to that expectation so far on this shift. Here's Nikita Kalashnikov's. Slings it across. That shot is McMahon. 6-on-5 still remains. Said it's basically a virtual penalty kill with the extra skater. Here's Kalashnikov's. He got Crow there poaching, maybe looking to make this 5-1 with 24 seconds remaining as the Melbourne Ice close in on snapping one of the longest losing streaks they've had in their history. Crow keeps the play alive. Handed off back to Lawrence. That was offside. Called by the back linesman on that occasion.
That was very close to being 5, man.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
So with this win, the Melbourne Ice will go to 15 points from 14 games. They will trail the Mustangs by 1 point. They'll still remain in 7th place. And then they'll have the Bears tomorrow night here at 5 o'clock. And they'll pull away from the adrenaline. But 2 wins from the Ice, they'll be on 18 points. They'll be right back in it. But it becomes a time of games played at this part of the season. And that will do it. The Melbourne Ice get back in the winners column, and they take a 4-1 victory here over the Melbourne Mustangs. Rod, your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are I'm pretty sad, okay? I'm not surprised, though, because I said to you before this game started, forget about where they are in the ladder. Melbourne Ice had something to prove, and they weren't going to let Mustangs take 3 off them. However, the Mustangs desperately wanted to take 3 off them to try to solidify a position in the chase for the 4. So it's a very sad day for the Mustangs and a very happy day for Melbourne Ice. And is the season over for both of them? Well, we're getting to that point, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. I mean, look, it's a very hard climb for both of them going into the second half. I mean, particularly as we talk, Mustangs have now played 16. They'll play 17 by Sunday night. The Ice will have played 15. And in terms of point spread, when you've got the other teams, such a buffer between the North Stars and the Mustangs and Ice, it's a very difficult ladder to climb.
It is, mate. It is that. It might be time to go and look for a cheap set of golf clubs.
Or dust off the old ones. And what's still actually interesting to. Sorry, I was trying to get an interesting statistic, but
well,
8 of the last 11 games from the Melbourne Ice, they still haven't scored in the third period.
Well, here's an interesting one for you. A little birdie told me that if you look at Mustang scoring, right, the worst period's their second period, and that's where they always seem to get into trouble. Okay?
Yeah.
So this time around, and their best period is their third period, and they didn't fire.
Yeah.
So they usually fire, and they just didn't fire.
And the first 3 minutes was their undoing, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never recovered from it. So to wrap things up here from the O'Brien Group Arena, it was the Melbourne Ice snapping the losing skid and getting a 3-goal win over the Melbourne Mustangs in the third derby of season 2018. The score finished 4-1 in favour of the Ice. On behalf of my co-commentator Rod Johns, I'm Steve White. We'll see you tomorrow, 5 p.m. Australian Eastern.
See you, dude. Take care.